Welcome to A Pleasant Solution, Embracing an Organized Life. I'm your host, certified life coach, professional organizer, and home life expert, Amelia Pleasant Kennedy. And I help folks permanently eliminate clutter in their homes and lives. On this podcast, we'll go beyond the basics of home organization to talk about why a clutter-free mindset is essential to an aligned and sustainable lifestyle. If you're someone with a to-do list, if you're managing a household, and if you're caring for others, this podcast is for you. Let's dive in. Welcome to episode 69. It's garage season. Hey, y'all. All right. So, professional organizers seem to fall into one of two categories. Either they love decluttering and organizing garages, or they don't. They do their best not to mention garages, lest clients think that this is a potential service they may offer. And for good reason. First off, there's only a short window of time that it's truly comfortable to work in a garage. Most garages aren't insulated, so they're either too cold or way too hot most of the year. Decluttering and organizing a garage requires a lot of physical labor. Therefore, the temperature and humidity levels make an impact. You're not alone if you avoid working in your garage. So please be understanding if you reach out to a pro organizer and they recommend a different time of year for your project. As of this recording, it's mid-May, so it's garage season somewhere. So, in today's episode, I'm going to cover a few garage organization essentials. This will be a practical episode. One to get you thinking about what's in your garage, to get you thinking about what you're going to do with those items, and how best to store the most common items kept there. Now, if you don't have a garage, consider yourself lucky, in my opinion. They're amazing for protecting your car, yet they often become a repository for many, many unwanted things. Most Americans think of their garage as a storage area, and this leads to an overabundance of unused items. If this is you, take a deep breath and know that undertaking a garage project will lighten both your physical and mental load. You'll feel tremendous relief when it's complete. And then, because of the efforts involved, you'll be motivated to maintain it once it's done. So, the first thing I want you to consider is the purpose of your garage. Ignore the items that are in your garage at this moment and think instead for you, for your family, what would you like the primary purpose of your garage to be? Despite what I'm about to share next, I want you to answer this question for you. What I think or say doesn't really matter. What matters is that you are honest with yourself. If its purpose is to store lawn decorations, own it. If its purpose is to hold drinks and beverages, own it. My place isn't to judge. It's simply to get you to consciously evaluate what you want the function of your garage to be. Naturally, I Googled the question, what percentage of Americans can't park their cars in their garage due to too much stuff? Well, the statistics came back that at least a third, if not more, Americans couldn't park their car in their garage due to excess items. I'm sure the statistic increases depending on the area of the country you're surveying. More rural areas have more space per person. Therefore, I imagine that number is higher. And remember, y'all, I'm from West Virginia, so no shade is being thrown here. My point is, if this is you, if you can't park your car in your garage due to excess items or poor organizational systems, you're not alone. Awareness of where you are right now with the number of objects you own is always the first step. Most folks have absolutely no idea of how to dispose of things kept in a garage. So that's part of the issue. You keep what you don't know how to dispose of properly. So let's start there. Once you've identified the purpose of your garage, you've gotten started. No excuses. You've started. The next step is to declutter, and this will be best done in a series of sessions. Breaking your project down into reasonable steps is essential. I think the most accessible way is wall by wall or by quadrant of the garage. Now, I want to pause here for a moment and remind you that with any decluttering project, you'll want to identify your top priority as well. Ask yourself, do I want to save money, the environment, or time when it comes to this specific project? You may think that you can do all three, but you'll be most successful if you identify which is your priority. Saving money looks like reselling items or donating them for a tax receipt. Saving the environment means taking the time to do the research to figure out the most environmentally responsible solution for the items contained within. Earth911.com is a great starting place for this category. But beware, don't drag the process out or use the environment as an excuse for lack of action on decluttering. I often choose saving time when it comes to projects because, in my mind, it's my most valuable resource. And I find value in hiring professionals to help me move heavy items and dispose of them in an environmentally responsible manner. I'm actually excited to spend money in order to save time and the environment. You're more organized than you think, so I trust that you'll choose the approach that will serve you best in the time frame you have available. Let's get sweaty, y'all. Start by clearing out any items that are damaged, unused, no longer needed, or have been languishing and taking up space. I'll go through a sample list here in a moment. Double check your local waste disposal guidelines because many damaged items may be welcome directly in the waste stream weekly pickup. For items needing to go to the dump, You could rent a truck for a day or a weekend to haul items so that you're not putting wear and tear on your own vehicle. Your local waste department may allow you to call and schedule bulk disposal pickup of large lawn equipment, broken appliances, all the things. Or they may be able to drop off a small to medium dumpster as well. Swallow any pride that comes up and get it done. Don't worry about your neighbors thinking that they may give you the side eye. Know that deep down, they're actually going to be jealous and wish that they were brave enough to do the same. Don't let the how of removal become an obstacle. You're a brilliant problem solver, and I'm confident there are solutions in your community if you're willing to research and ask. All right, so here are a few examples. Sports or camping equipment and lawn care tools that are in good working order can be donated or posted on your local Buy Nothing site or marketplace. Hazardous items like paint, cleaners, batteries, and chemicals need to be disposed of safely and with intention. Check your local waste management and recycling guidelines, as many communities have specialized donation days for hazardous disposal drop-off. This is the best, most freeing task, y'all. Put it on your schedule. Pay the fee. Get the chemicals and old paint out of your basement and your garage. It is the best gift you can give yourself. Make sure to wrap or pad any rusted or sharp tools before placing them in the trash to keep your local waste workers safe. Tech stores like Best Buy and Staples also take back and offer recycling for electronics and appliances. Earth 911 offers suggestions for how to best recycle or dispose of lots of different items. You can search the word e-cycle and your zip code to gather more data in this category. If you'd like a done-for-you decluttering solution, contact a junk hauler or bulk removal service, which will remove your unwanted items in one visit. I've used this approach several times. When we sold our home and downsized 60% of our belongings, the haulers took the large soccer goals that were in our backyard, our treadmill, so many things, y'all. They donate what's usable first and foremost, and they typically charge based on cubic square feet used in their hauling truck, not by individual items. All right, let's switch gears to talk a bit about how to get creative with your garage space once you've disposed of items you'll no longer want or need. Think of your garage as a blank slate, even though there are items still in there. There are 3 usable walls for storage, plus there's the ceiling. Depending on the height of your garage, you may be able to install racks or hooks above to hang or hold items. These overhead garage storage racks are heavy duty and hang from the garage ceiling and optimize the space over your car. Store seasonal or less used items here in airtight, waterproof bins. Look for systems that can be anchored to your existing studs and be mindful of the total weight capacity and clearance. You can always ask a retailer for an estimate or a design to get your creative juices flowing. For the side walls, know that there are lots of specialized hangers available for hanging equipment and tools, and these specialized hangers are game changers. Bikes can be hung from the ceiling using hooks, hung flat against the wall, or hung vertically. Be sure to anchor any hanging solution via a stud in the wall or use the recommended reinforcement for stability. Skis and snowboards can be nestled together and staggered to save space and ensure easy accessibility. For gardening and hardware equipment, many major brands offer wall-mounted tool and utility systems. The key is to measure your space and take stock of the items you want easily accessible. Getting as much up off the garage floor as possible will make your garage easier to navigate and give a spacious feel. Even items like wheelbarrows, chainsaws, and leaf blowers can be wall-mounted. The goal is to make this space functional and have items be easily accessible. My good friend recently went through this process, and now her family members are able to maintain their own equipment and belongings because each item in the garage has a dedicated spot. There's no confusion about what goes where. All of the items can be seen, and the garage is no longer a hazard zone of things leaning against the wall or getting dusty and rusty from not being used. You'll want to consider the seasonal temperature and humidity fluctuations of your environment when planning garage storage solutions. Keeping things organized also means protecting them against the elements. I'd suggest selecting heavy-duty, all-weather, stackable plastic tubs for loose items. If you like to see what you own, choose a clear bin with a secure lid. If you prefer a uniform, opaque look, select a bin that's light-proof. Be sure to clearly label the contents of either style on two sides of the bin using an all-weather tape. Be careful not to overstuff bins, as large bins they can get quite heavy, y'all. Your back will thank you. Cabinets are another great way to keep a garage neat and clutter-free. Be sure to optimize the space within a cabinet by containing items in bins. If you tend to think out of sight, out of mind, though, cabinets might not be the best solution. Always start your planning process from what makes sense to your brain, your family, and your home, rather than what's primarily suggested as the right way to organize. Smaller parts like nails and screws can be organized in a cabinet or on shelving using a compartmentalized drawer system or storage case. Pegboards are another great way to see items like handheld tools. Aim to select a system that's epoxy-coated steel so that it withstands the elements. Pegboards are customizable and often offer modular solutions to hold a variety of sized items. Utilize a large open-air bin or multi-sport organizer to keep balls off the floor, safely contained, and easily accessible. Start by looking at what you own first, and then consider what storage solution might work for the shape of item you have. The last area I want to cover in today's episode is the whole garage upgrade. Once you've decluttered, some of you may desire to make your garage a more habitable, pleasant place to be. Taking this route is an investment, and it's a selling feature for your home. Just like custom closets, a customized garage stands out. For example, floor protection, such as an epoxy coating or floor mats, will help to keep the elements from damaging your floor. If you plan to spend time working in the garage, adding additional lighting overhead or task-specific lighting will brighten the space and make it more comfortable. Several closet and shelving companies make garage-specific systems that will create a uniform and attractive look for your space. The key is to plan out what you want, where, before investing. Partner directly with a custom design company or a professional organizer to ensure the measurements and products selected meet your needs. You can add fold-out tables and work surfaces, drawers, hooks, and specialized containers. Whatever you decide to invest in, however, remember you'll be responsible for maintaining it. When evaluating the cost of a system, I'd advise evaluating it from this perspective. How easy will this system be to maintain? That will give you lots of information. You'll be most successful in the long run by thinking about your garage as a living space, not as a static storage space that's a dumping ground for whatever doesn't fit inside or belong inside. That's the true underlying purpose that brings the project full circle. Your efforts can align with the specific purpose you outlined at the beginning of the episode. Or you can simply reach out to a pro. It's garage season, y'all. Get dirty, sweat a little, and get her done. Talk to y'all soon. Don't go. Leaving a review is quick and easy, and it keeps this podcast at the top of the charts. On your listening platform, click the 5-star rating. Head to Apple Podcasts and add your feedback or share what you'd like to hear in future episodes. I'll then share your review on a future episode, and we'll celebrate together. Talk to y'all soon, and remember, you're more organized than you think.